Well, many of you are in college and many of you are paying tuition. You realize that is very expensive. So how would you draw a demand curve for tuition? Well, quite simply, if tuition is high, there's few students. If tuition is lower, there are more students. So this is what we call a demand curve. And that demand curve is being driven a lot by the benefits that students receive. So one way to think of a demand curve is the benefit, and we're going to call this the private benefit. This is the benefit that you receive as an individual student of going to college. Increased earnings, better lifestyle, increased mobility, better job opportunities, whatever that might be, those are the benefits you receive as an individual. Well, also, there are costs involved with college. Okay, and again, this is our supply curve. So if colleges can charge more tuition, they're willing to increase the costs in order to get more students. Build new buildings, hire more faculty, whatever that might be. And so as a result of this would be the optimal number of college students, and that would be the price that students pay. But why is it that colleges, or that the price of tuition is not actually paid in full by you? The state is paying a lot of that tuition. And one reason why that's the case is because when you go to college, you're going to go out in the workforce, you're going to get a job, you're going to create jobs, you're going to start a new company, you're going to pay taxes, you're going to be a good citizen, you're going to do all these things that make the state better off by having a more educated populace. And that benefit's not received by you at all. In fact, it's received by the state. And so when we think of that benefit, there is an additional benefit. Let's draw that a little further out. There's an additional benefit that you are not receiving for yourself, but others around you are receiving. This is the benefit to society, or the social benefit. As a result, we want more students. The socially optimal amount of students going to college is right here. Well, to achieve that social amount, here is the benefit that the student receives. But here is the cost in tuition. And so with this low benefit, this is what the student's willing to pay. And this is the actual cost of tuition. And that difference means that students aren't going to go to college. And so when we talk about a positive externality, this is providing an external benefit to individuals around you. What it says is that a free market would produce this quantity. That quantity is less than the socially optimal amount. We need to achieve the social optimal amount, but the challenge of doing so is that the price that the buyers are willing to pay is less than the price that it requires to produce that. So this difference here is what we need to think about. And when we think about college tuition, one way to overcome this gap is through a subsidy. So at Southern Utah University, 48% of its budget comes from student tuition. About 52% of its budget comes from the state. Meaning the state is going to pay this difference here to get more students to come to college in order to benefit society as a whole. And so this is an example of positive externalities where there's an external benefit or a benefit to society of individuals consuming the good. And so therefore we need to think about how to achieve that socially optimal amount.